The beauty of stillness. Now, I know this is not a common belief because we're all so wired to believe that movement, seeing things come and go, having action, taking action in your life is important and it's crucial because of the momentum, the adrenaline, and I guess also just that human desire to see progress in general. But what I've learned in the last 3 years of my life, when I have been forced to sit down, calm down, and be still, is to realize the beauty in stillness. Um, by saying that, I mean, usually when you're still, your thoughts become so loud. Your flaws become so loud. Your insecurities become so loud. Your shadow becomes so loud. Everything that you despise about yourself looks you right in the face. And it questions you a whole lot. It bothers you. It picks at you every single second. And when that happens, you have no other option but to face it, but to face your shadow, to face your darkness, but to face every single thing that you hate about yourself. And this is what makes this stillness beautiful. This is what makes it so crucial, so quintessential into your being, into who you're becoming, into who you're stapling yourself to be. So a bit of a backstory about me is I was studying art, bachelor's in life performance, and literally in the last 6 months of my university schooling journey, I got excommunicated from my uni because I couldn't pay for the funds. My parents couldn't afford it and I was behind. So it forced me to just stop. And at that time, I was so used to being in the groove of at least being at school, like wake up early, 5 a.m. I'm up, I'm headed to school, and I come back late evening because we finished quite late. And I come back and I rest, and it was just like that. And then I'd obviously just rest on the weekends, but not really rest because I had schoolwork. And I guess since when I was a child, primary, that's just been the rhythm, just constantly going, and working towards something. But that moment forced me to stop. And literally my biggest fears faced me. They looked at me and I had to look at them back. I couldn't shy away. Man, that was probably the roughest year of my life. I went through ego death. I went through so much self-doubt. I went through so much questioning as to like why, because that was my final year. I was supposed to be finishing that year. Why would I work this hard to just get here and then I can't get the degree I wanted? I can't finish what I started. I can't, get to where I'm trying to go. And whilst in that process, I'm very spiritual. I'm a spiritual person, so I was praying a lot. I was going within a lot. But I was really struggling to find the answer. I really was, truly. And that in turn, I guess, put me in a position where I had to accept. We go through so much trying to understand and trying to fight and trying to rise above the occasion. But that moment of stillness, and even now, um, even in the following years, the stillness has made me just accept things as they come, accept things as they are. And that's not necessarily saying you're giving up, but it's being still, taking it in, realizing these are the cards I have right now. What can I do? How can I work with what I have to get to where I'm trying to go? And that was pretty much the premise. But to cut the long story short about that year, it was the craziest thing. I started to develop this inner confidence in myself. In a sense, that ego death made me realize that nothing outside of me was the reason of my being, was the reason of me excelling so much, was the reason for me shining so much. It was so crazy. Whenever I'd sleep, like my consciousness would be telling me good things. It was like it was speaking to me. I don't know if that was my consciousness, if it was just my thoughts, if it was just, but like everything, I would sleep and I would like have crazy statements that I'd feel, that I'd hear inside my head, like how everything was gonna be better, how everything that's been lost is gonna be multiplied when it comes back, about how great I am. And I wasn't necessarily doing that. I'm not the type of, I don't know that. So I can't really say that was me doing that. I don't know what it was, but this confidence started developing. And that's when I also started getting into music, as a release, as an art form. And I'd always wanted to be a musician, but having nothing else to do, I guess so much time really forced me. And having my brother also was into music, so he was like, hey, come on, let's work on this. You can, I've got beats for you, I've got music for you, I've got a studio, let's work. And I made my first song, and just like that, I realized that I really love doing music. I knew I did, but I guess I was always shy about it. But if you have nothing to lose, then what else can you do? So I started doing that, and my confidence also, like I said, every time I'd fall asleep, like I'd have this repeating message every single time. And to cut the story short, December time, that very same school, that very same university emails me telling me that I can finish off my degree, and they'd make like a special program just for me. And that like I can use the January, February month to just like finish off what I started, because I had already did like most of the work. So it was so insane. And I graduated, but not just graduated, but I got cum laude. Like, I don't know if I said that right or what, but I got that. And that to me was a testimony to how powerful I am, how powerful every single thing is. Even if like it feels like what's happening to you at the moment, if life is forcing you in a certain direction, it feels like you've been hit in the gut, but the stillness will make you realize who you truly are. And I believe I've gotten this confidence now to speak to this camera like this, to speak to you like this, to speak about my journey like this, because of the stillness, because of it forcing me to look at myself, to dig deep, to realize the greatness within myself. And even saying it out loud, sometimes I guess the lesser part of me is always like saying, hey, that just kind of feels cringe, but it's fine. I don't care, because I know what I've been through, and I know what I've had to overcome, and I've had to sit with all the negativity, all the darkness, all the traumas, all the insecurities, all the pain, and make me realize who the F I am, you know? And so, me saying there's beauty in the stillness is me telling you to appreciate it. Appreciate the fact that you have time to yourself. You have time to see who you really are. Because I feel like that's really the the crux of what being a human being is realizing who you are. There's so much noise outside. There's so many things happening, and if you're constantly on the go, if you're constantly on the move, you never really take the time to realize who it is that you are. What really makes you the way you are? What really makes you hate yourself? Why? Why are you scared of doing things? Why are you so insecure about certain things? And if you really have that time to sit with yourself, to question, then you get to see. And by getting to see, you get to work on that. Um, it's not as easy as ABC, trust me. It's still painful for me sometimes. But I've made so much progress because of it. I've made so much improvement. And so, don't be ashamed that nothing's going on in your life. Don't be ashamed or afraid that it feels like life is being stagnant or life is forcing you to stop and you don't see any outward movement. Just take that time to know yourself, to work through whatever you need to work through to get where you need to be. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. Bye, guys.